Morning now class, hope you all had a very good weekend. Slight change of location for today's broadcast. We're not at home, we're in a very empty hours classroom where we've been doing a bit of a deep clean. And today's session we're going to be looking at some grammar for us to use in our writing, and we're going to be focusing on apostrophes and how and when we use them. Now apostrophes are things I know you will have done since you were in Doves or Kings, so hopefully a lot of this will be revision, but then we'll get a few technicalities of where we can use them and where we mustn't. So we're going to start with the question, where do we use them? And we're going to be focusing on two areas. We're going to be looking at how we use apostrophes for possession, that we'll be coming to a little bit later, or contraction. The shortening of words. Now when we do this, we're going to actually put another word in here, which means the same thing. Sometimes contraction might be called omission, so we could use either words throughout, so they mean the same thing. And that's where we're going to start with contraction or omission. And this is looking at where we have a pair of words that we can contract to make a shortened version of the word. So for instance, the word is not can be shortened to the word isn't, as you all know. And is not to isn't, so we have the ISN for is. And then we get rid of the vowel in the middle of this, the O, and we replace it with the apostrophe and then finish with the T afterwards. So is not becomes isn't. Exactly the same with this word here, should not. Should not contracts to shouldn't. And again, we've got the should, we've got the N of not, get rid of the O, and we've got shouldn't. So have a look at these next few ones, see if you can see what they're going to become. Was not is going to become wasn't. Will not is a little bit different, because we're not going to say won't, we say won't, but we're still using that apostrophe to show where the O in the not should be. And then the final two not ones, we've got does not. Now I want you to have a look at this spelling. I'm going to underline this bit, because it's really easy to get does wrong way round, D-O-S-E. Nope, D-O-E-S. And the same in doesn't. So D-O-E-S, and then we've got our N apostrophe T for the not to make doesn't. And then this one's quite an interesting one, shall not. See if you know what that one becomes. Shall not shortens or contracts to shan't. And we were having a look at this one, and the word shan't now, you can see there's actually quite a few letters missing in that shall not when we become shan't. It's not always not, so at the end we've got a few examples here of other ones. I will, it will. So I will, again, we've got a few bits to move here, and I will, we're actually going to lose all of this here to become I'll. And same, it will be Monday today. It'll be Monday. We've got the it, apostrophe, LL, and again we're losing the part of this. Now then the final one, which I know you're all experts in, because this has been in our spelling so many times, they are, is going to become their. So I want you all thinking, what kind of there is it going to be? It's not T-H-E-R-E, it's not T-H-E-I-R, it's our they, apostrophe, R-E. And you can see that they are going to become there. And then I wanted to finish on this one, and I'm going to put this in a different colour because it's something we're going to be coming back to. It is shortens to its. And right now we're going to put the apostrophe in. It is shortens to its. Possession is the other form of reason we use apostrophes. And that word possession, look at that part there, to possess means that it belongs to. So we're going to look down at a few examples of this. So have a look at these couple of sentences. Where would we use an apostrophe to show the possession? What belongs to somebody? And we use it to show there. So John's brother is called Tom. So the brother belongs to John. So we put the apostrophe to show that it is John, apostrophe S, brother. So we've got John's brother. Then we've got the other way round. We've got the bag is Hannah's. The bag belongs to Hannah. So we've got the apostrophe to show it's Hannah's. Now, these two are very common because they show it belongs to somebody, but it doesn't always. Have a look at this one here. We've got no person here, but we've got the sun's rays beamed down. Now look, what belongs to it? So the rays belong to the sun, so it must be the sun's rays. And finally here, we've been talking about space and science. We've got Saturn's rings are made from icy material. The rings belong to Saturn, so it must be Saturn apostrophe S rings. I said earlier we're going to focus on the word it's, because it's, just like so many examples in the English language, is absolutely stupid because sometimes it uses an apostrophe, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's really important we know which way round that is. So we said earlier when we were talking about contraction and omission, we do have an apostrophe if we are shortening it from it is. However, have a look at this one. If it belongs to, so we're showing it for possession, it belongs to it, so the dog wagged its tail, no apostrophe. So the same word, it's, is actually spelt differently depending on how it's used. So have a look at those two examples there. The dog wagged its tail, and hurry up, it's almost 3 o'clock. And see if you can see where you would need an apostrophe or not. Okay, have a look at the first one. The dog wagged its tail. If it was an omission, that would be saying the dog wagged its tail. And you can hear that doesn't make sense at all. So we know that its tail is showing possession, and as we can see here, no apostrophe is needed. So the dog wagged its tail is absolutely fine as it is. However, hurry up, it's almost 3 o'clock. This it's here is not showing that it belongs to someone. It's omission or it's contraction to show that it's shortened from it is almost 3 o'clock. And therefore, because it's contraction, we use it is. And we have an apostrophe. So one thing that will come up in the next bag quiz will be sentences that use it's. So you'll need to be thinking really carefully which way do they go round. Do you need an apostrophe or not? So the final thing we're going to have a look at in terms of apostrophes is this idea here. When we're talking about possession and it belonging to someone or something, is it just a singular person, so just one person or thing, or is it more than one? Is it plural? So for instance, have a look at this sentence here. Same sentence, the house's windows are cracked. Where we put the apostrophe is going to be, change the meaning of this word. So for instance, if I put it here, the house apostrophe S windows are cracked, that means the windows belong to just one house. However, in sentence number 2, the house's windows are cracked, if we put the apostrophe here after the S, what does that tell us? There's not just one house anymore, it is lots of houses. So we could say that is more than one house. Now that could be 2 houses, it could be 3, 5, 10, 100 houses. Either way, if the apostrophe is after that word, after the S, we know that there is more than one house whose windows are cracked there. So, have a look at these two sentences, and it tells you whether it is just one or more than one. So have a look, see if you can spot where the apostrophes are going to go. So the first one, the school's pupils were learning from home. Very true. But this is just one school we're talking about. So have a look, where is the apostrophe going to go in the word schools? Remember, just one school, so therefore the school apostrophe S pupils. If it was more than one school, the school's pupils across the town, then the apostrophe would go after there, but it tells us here what we need. Here we've got the girl's bedroom was disgracefully untidy, and I'm sure that's not true. However, here we are talking about that there is more than one girl. And so it's the girl's bedroom that's disgracefully untidy. So where would that apostrophe go? Girls, more than one, so So the apostrophe must come after there. And here's your heads up, when we next do the grammar quiz, that will be something we're looking at is, where does the apostrophe go? By the way, there is one car, or two cars, or whatever it may well be. So, just a reminder, at the end, where do we need an apostrophe? We use an apostrophe if we're talking about contractions, or, think about that other word we use, can you remember it? Omissions. We use it to show possession. And that possession, remember, can be both singular and plural. Where do we not use it? So we don't use it for its when we're talking about possession. We don't use it for that kind of its. And here's the one that people often get mixed up on. We do not use it for regular plurals. So if I'm saying there are 3 cats, we would not have an apostrophe if we're just saying that there is more than one cat. We would only use that if we were talking about the cat's tail, so it belongs to the cat. So, have a think back about what you already know. On the sheet I'm going to send out, that will have some questions about using apostrophes or not using apostrophes when they're needed. And next week's grammar quiz, here's your heads up, there's going to be questions based around that. So, have a go. Please let us know how you're getting on. It's been brilliant to see what people have been working on. And good luck on getting these apostrophes looking great. We'll see you soon.